Welcome to today's explainer, EME 2040E. We're diving straight into the fast-moving world of artificial intelligence. We hear buzzwords like generative AI and LLMs thrown around constantly, but what do they actually mean for us? Well, today we are going to explore how AI has made a massive, fundamental leap, evolving from a system that simply makes educated guesses to a powerful engine capable of genuine original creation.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to look at the AI evolution, meet large language models, explore multimodal and enterprise data, learn the art of prompting, and finally, talk about keeping AI on track.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the AI evolution, from guesser to creator.
To figure out where we are today, we got to look at where we started. For decades, traditional AI, what we usually call machine learning, was basically a world-class categorizer. It was the ultimate guesser. Think about an MRI scan. Traditional AI could look at it and predict if a lesion looked suspicious. Super useful, right? But it's still just making an educated guess based on past data. Now, generative AI, that is a massive leap forward. It's the creator. Instead of just spotting a problem, it synthesizes knowledge to generate entirely new, original content. It could look at that same MRI, figure out the likelihood of future lung disease, and actually generate a totally custom treatment plan based on thousands of similar cases. We've literally moved from an era of pure prediction to an era of genuine creation.
And this graphic perfectly maps out that journey. We started with classical AI in the 1950s, hit the deep learning boom around 2005, and that rocketed us right into today's era of massive web-scale generative AI. Now for EME 2040E, you're actually going to use this exact web-scale tech for your logo assignment. It's totally hands-on. You're going to sketch a logo on paper, snap a photo with your phone, and upload that picture straight to ChatGPT. Then, you'll prompt it to create a professional digital logo based on your drawing. Once it's done, you just submit both files, your original photo and the AI version, right into Canvas. Pretty cool, right?
Moving right along to Section 2, meet large language models, the actual brains behind all this creation.
So, what's actually powering this creative revolution? It's the LLM, or large language model. Think of an LLM as a massive digital brain. And I mean massive. It's trained on datasets measured in petabytes, which, by the way, is 1,000,000 gigabytes. We're talking mountains of books, articles, and websites, mostly from the public domain. Because it has ingested so much human language using deep learning, it's extraordinarily capable of understanding your instructions and generating human-like responses. And the absolute best part? You don't have to write a single line of complex programming code to use it.
A real game changer happened in 2017 with the transformer architecture, which completely solved the old problem of AI losing context in translation. It's got two main players. First, the encoder. This part processes and truly grasps what you're saying, like taking the French phrase "je suis d'étudiant" and wrapping its digital head around the meaning. Then it hands that deep contextual understanding over to the decoder, which steps in to skillfully craft the final output, "I am a student." They work as the ultimate team to ensure total accuracy and context.
But you might be wondering, how does a computer actually understand language? Well, it all comes down to math. The AI plots words as vector embeddings on a massive multidimensional graph, grouping them by how often they show up together. For example, the mathematical distance and direction between man and woman is almost identical to the relationship between king and queen. Or take geography. The jump from Paris to France perfectly mirrors London to England. By mathematically mapping out these concepts, the LLM can predict the absolute most logical next word in a sentence, and it does it with astonishing accuracy.
And here's where it gets even better. We aren't just limited to text anymore. As these foundation models evolve, they're becoming multimodal. That means they can simultaneously juggle text, images, audio, and even video without breaking a sweat. This is exactly the magic powering your logo assignment. You hand the AI an image of your hand-drawn sketch, you give it text instructions, and it effortlessly interprets both to generate a polished digital design.
Which brings us to Section 3, Multimodal and Enterprise Data, the fuel for the creator.
Check out this staggering stat from an MIT report. 80 to 90% of data is unstructured. Just think about your own daily life or a large organization. The really valuable stuff isn't sitting in neat little spreadsheet rows. It's completely locked away in massive PDFs, endless email chains, customer service audio logs, and social media feeds. This is exactly why generative AI is such an absolute game changer. For the very first time, we have a reasoning engine that can dive right into these giant, messy archives of raw, unstructured files and actually pull out the hidden value.
But to make your AI truly smart, you've got to feed it right. You need to cast a wide data net across three main tiers. First is your first-party data. This is your internal goldmine, like everyday interactions with your own customers. Then you have second-party data, which is trusted information shared by partners, maybe inventory numbers from a retail channel. Finally, third-party data gives you external context, like broad market trends or supply chain shifts. Bring all three together, and your AI becomes an incredibly powerful, custom-built tool for your specific needs.
Okay, let's jump into Section 4, the art of prompting, or how to effectively guide the AI.
Since LLMs predict the next word based on context, how you provide that context in your prompt is absolutely critical. Let's break down how you scale this up. Step 1 is zero-shot prompting. This is your basic interaction where you just ask a direct question and rely entirely on the AI's pre-trained knowledge. But if you want real control, you step up to one-shot prompting, where you give it a clear example. Let's say you're doing your logo assignment. You could show the AI one single example of a sleek, minimalist tech logo, and it'll adopt that exact vibe for your sketch. Finally, step 3 is few-shot prompting, where you feed it multiple visual or text examples to really lock in the pattern. By moving from zero-shot to few-shot, you are essentially handing the AI a crystal-clear template, which completely skyrockets the quality and precision of its creation. And that leads us to our final stop, Section 5, keeping AI on track. It's all about accuracy and safety. We've got two really powerful tools in our toolkit to keep these models both honest and helpful. The first is RAG, or Retrieval Augmented Generation. Remember how we said LLMs are trained on past data? Well, RAG fixes that lag by connecting the AI directly to a current vector database. So before it answers your question, it retrieves up-to-date proprietary facts. It's basically the AI's real-time fact-checker. On the flip side, we have RLHF, which stands for Reinforcement Learning from Human Feedback. This uses actual human evaluators to score the AI's responses. Over time, it teaches the model to avoid toxic language and maintain a natural, conversational tone. If RAG is the fact-checker, RLHF is the etiquette coach.
So why do we even need fact-checkers and etiquette coaches? Because of a crazy phenomenon known as hallucination. Without techniques like RAG grounding the facts and RLHF guiding the behavior, you run a huge risk. The AI might confidently spit out an answer that sounds totally convincing but is actually 100% fiction. It might invent a historical event out of thin air or cite a fake legal case, all because the underlying math predicted those words sounded good together. You absolutely need proper data pipelines and fine-tuning to stop those hallucinations dead in their tracks before they happen.
So, look how far we've come. We've watched this tech evolve from a simple, classical guesser into a brilliant multimodal creator. We've peeked under the hood at transformer architectures, the math driving the language, and why unlocking unstructured data is such a massive deal. Now, for EME 2040E, it is time to put all this theory into practice. Grab that paper, sketch out your big ideas, and watch firsthand as these multimodal LLMs transform your rough concepts into gorgeous professional digital designs. Don't forget to submit both files to Canvas. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and have a blast with that assignment.